Welcome to the International News Channel, News LD. Today we present to you a news entitled,
Credit Suisse stock rebounds with help from central bank. Traders dispatched Credit Suisse's stock value skyrocketing. The lifeline of greater than 50 billion francs launched by the central bank to the banking large reassured the world markets. On the opening of the session, Thursday, March 16, the title Credit Suisse jumped by greater than 30% in a powerful buying and selling quantity. On the identical time, the European stock markets recovered Thursday morning by 1.43% in Paris, 1.26% in Frankfurt, 1.27% in London and 1.21% in Milan, after their plunge the day earlier than. On Wednesday, the motion of Credit Suisse had suffered the worst session in its historical past after a motion of panic following the statements of its largest shareholder, the Nationwide Bank of Saudi Arabia, SNB. The motion had hit a historic low of 1.55 Swiss francs, 1.58 euros, to lastly shut down 24.24%. To cease the panic motion, Credit Suisse, which is a part of the very small membership of banks that are thought about to play such a necessary position that they can't be allowed to go bankrupt, introduced in the midst of the evening in Europe that it was going to enchantment to the Swiss central bank to borrow as much as 50 billion Swiss francs, 50.8 billion euros, in an effort to reinforce preventively its money. It'll additionally perform a sequence of debt buyback operations for roughly 3 billion Swiss francs. Learn additionally, article reserved for our subscribers. Swiss regulators attempt to quell market panic after plunge in international finance stalwart Credit Suisse. No threat of direct contagion. Earlier Wednesday night and after a day of peculiar silence, the Swiss Central Bank, SNB, and the policeman of the Swiss monetary markets, FINMA, assured that the bank's funds had been strong and met strict standards of banking rules. The central bank then mentioned it was able to let Credit Suisse enter liquidity if wanted. The two regulators additionally estimated that there isn't any threat of direct contagion between the issues confronted by sure banking institutions in the USA and the Swiss monetary market. The central bank and FINMA recalled that Swiss banks are topic to strict capital and liquidity necessities, contemplating that Credit Suisse happy these necessities. They are greater for banks like Credit Suisse, as it's a so-called vital bank systemic. It began on Wednesday morning with an announcement from the president of the Saudi bank. The bank has been Credit Suisse's greatest shareholder ever because it bailed out in November, with a stake of just below 10%. Amir Al-Qudairy mentioned his bank doesn't depend completely not investing extra in Credit Suisse, saying the drag was principally regulatory. Crossing the edge above 10% would contain acquiring the approval of FINMA, the market surveillance authority in Switzerland. Though he mentioned he was very happy with Credit Suisse's restructuring plan, his remarks sparked panic on the stock in a market very fearful concerning the dangers of contagion after the chapter of the American Silicon Valley Bank, SVB. Learn additionally, article reserved for our subscribers. French and European banks put beneath strain by Credit Suisse's setbacks. Actions going past the Swiss stock trade. The autumn in Credit Suisse's share value triggered actions far past the Swiss stock market on Wednesday. The Treasury Division mentioned it was monitoring the state of affairs and being in touch with its counterparts in different international locations. The world shopping for guides reusable water bottles. One of the best water bottles to exchange disposable bottles. Learn after yesterday's excessive share value volatility, the Swiss authorities provided their assist. It is a sturdy and necessary sign, reacted Andreas Venditti, analyst at Vontobel in a market commentary. We hope these measures will calm the markets and cease the detrimental spiral, added the analyst. The motion has misplaced greater than 87% of its worth because the chapter, in March 202, of the British monetary firm Grendel, which had marked the start of a sequence of scandals which have weakened the bank. Learn additionally, article reserved for our subscribers. Central banks, and more lively bulwark towards monetary market failures.